Dysfunction, a lack of accountability, and a lack of leadership. Those were some of the findings here in this damning report about the York District School Board. Now, the report was launched by the province after several parents came forward and brought awareness to the fact that their complaints about racism and Islamophobia were not handled appropriately by the board and its staff. And the two investigators behind this report agree.
And the systemic discrimination occurs mostly, often, when people ignore addressing issues that are right up in their faces. And we've identified in the report a number of those areas that we feel were ignored.
Investigators have made 26 recommendations to deal with several controversial issues, including reports of discrimination. It blasted some staff members saying, quote, "There was a complete absence among board members of any appreciation of their obligation to take a strong, unequivocal stand against racism and intolerance."
The parents told us this over and over again, who felt that they were dismissed.
The education minister ordered the report after two high-profile incidents, one involving a Markham principal who shared anti-Islam posts online, and a school trustee from Georgina who used the N-word to refer to the mother of a black student. It took weeks before trustee Nancy Elgie resigned, and no board members filed a code of conduct complaint.
Having reviewed the report, the observations included are profoundly troubling to me. In particular, those which describe feelings of alienation, marginalization, and discrimination.
The review found that trustees who wanted to speak out stayed quiet in fear of retaliation. Parents thank the minister for launching the review and say they're happy with the recommendations, including the mother at the center of that N-word controversy.
This is stuff that we've been fighting for whenever we complain. Shrug shoulders, no answers. So we're pleased and we are willing to work. We've always said this. We're always willing to show up at the table.
A good 7 years we've been fighting with the board, and we're just so grateful for Mitzi and Patrick and Sue. It's just a breath of fresh air for all of us right now.
The report recommends creating a human rights office within the board and asks the Ontario Human Rights Commission to help monitor it. It also suggests staff governance training and a review of how senior staff are recruited. That comes after revelations the Director of Education was in charge of his own appraisal process and was given a 10-year contract. That's unprecedented in Ontario schools.
There are basketball players and football players who don't have 10-year contracts, but this Director of Education has a 10-year contract with our tax money.
The board says they've heard the recommendations loud and clear, and officials say that in the days ahead, they will act on several of them. But parents aren't confident the board will meet those expectations.
They're not going to be able to fulfill the recommendation in the timely manner that they were given. So based on that, we expect maybe a supervisor to be in there soon.
Now, while trustees say that immediate action will be taken on many of those recommendations, they do say, and they claim, that the report also includes some factual errors, significant ones, and they say they've already taken that up with the Minister of Education.